the 33rd manager in the illustrious history of the New York Yankees, which started in 1903, Mr. Aaron Boone, a former colleague and now the head guy in the dugout for the Yankees. Aaron, how's that sound?
Sounds really good. This has been a special day for me and my family, and just really excited about the opportunity and good to be on with you guys.
I'll tell you what, Aaron, the place was jammed. I think it was being covered everywhere, being carried live all over the country. Were there any nerves? I mean, you've played on the biggest stages, and you're going to have a lot of pressure on you as a Yankee manager. But when you stood at that podium and started to talk, were you a little nervous?
Yes, more so than I thought, actually. And I told Brian Cashman and Jason Zillow here a little bit ago, I was like, man, I was nervous when I first got up there. But it became very comfortable over time, and just, again, an exciting day. But, yes, walking in, I was a little more nervous than I anticipated.
I know we were showing on Yes during the simulcast, and they're showing it right now, pictures of you walking into the park across the street from Yankee Stadium and then on the side of the old Yankee Stadium, and you're looking up at the scoreboard and they're taking pictures. It says Aaron Boone, Yankee manager. Overwhelming?
A little bit, yes. And I just think humbling comes to mind. I mean, it's been a humbling experience to having gotten the call to know I'm going to be the next manager, and then having the amount of people and friends and people close to me that have reached out and just to offer their support and their congratulations has meant the world to me. And it is a little overwhelming today, certainly, and just all that goes with it. But I've been very comfortable already in my working relationship with the people in the front office, with Cash, and I've been really focused on the job, I think, in a really nice way.
Did you, as you finished out your career in Major League Baseball and the time you were away from the Yankees, over time, did you start to think you might be a part of the organization again? How much was that ever in your mind?
Not necessarily. I mean, when I'm have been living my life, I've pretty much, been in the moment of where I've been. Managing when I was a player was something that if you had asked me, I'd say, yeah, maybe it's something that I would be interested into, but was not something that was a lifelong goal of mine or dream of mine. But I would say the last few years that fire has really started to burn. It reached a white-hot level, I think, this postseason when I was able to be around, AJ and Dave Roberts during the World Series, and just how well I know them and how close I am with them. I think those juices really started to flow, and I kind of began the process of transitioning, into a front office situation, a coaching situation possibly. And then, a few weeks ago when Brian first called me, the wheels to this started moving.
We had on Hal McCoy yesterday on our show, and he told the story, which everyone knows, that you helped him out when he was thinking about quitting because he had strokes to the optic nerve behind the eyes. And everybody I speak to, Aaron, I mean, to a man, that you're one of the nicest people that they've ever met in the sport. And in my interactions with you, the time we worked that playoff series together, I have nothing but respect, and I really like you a lot, and I'm rooting for you. But have you ever been nasty to anybody? Is there any kind of skeleton?
Oh, I got plenty of skeletons, sure. I've stepped in it more times than I can imagine in my lifetime. But I think overall, I try to live my life a certain way and feel like, one thing I've done over the course of my life is treated people kind of the way I would hope to be treated. And I've been blessed that more often than not, that's been reciprocated to me, and I feel like in my life people have really not only looked out for me but treated me really well, and relationships are important. They will continue to be important, and I think are really important in this job, but it's something that I've certainly is been a hallmark of my life, is developing relationships. Baseball is in your blood. Your grandfather played, your dad played, your brother played, your dad managed twice, and friends of yours that I know, and I consider myself a friend, and when I heard you got the Yankee manager job, I kind of got choked up for you. I said, wow, that's kind of cool. And then I'm trying to imagine, and now you could tell us, what did Bob Boone say? I mean, was Bob Boone emotional when you told him? Yeah, so he was, there's about a 24-hour period guys where I knew that it was me, but I wasn't allowed to say anything, and it didn't leak out till that later in the day on Friday, but. So I knew for about 24 to 36 hours, but one person I was able to tell was my dad, and I called him, and he was actually playing golf, and I called him, and I kind of slow played it a little bit, and I'm like, Cash called, in kind of a down voice. He said, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it," and he immediately started laughing. Oh, that's great, and then he immediately started crying, I could tell.
Wow.
And it was pretty neat to hear. I haven't heard my dad cry a lot in my lifetime, and to hear him crying over the phone, because I know the excitement was pretty a special moment for me.
I was talking to Lee Mazzilli, who was at the press conference today, and he said something really interesting to me. He said, every manager at 2 in the morning when he can't sleep about a decision that he's made or he's about to make, they have to call somebody that they could trust and that they could lean on. He said, and Aaron has a great advantage because that person is his dad. Do you look at it that way too?
I do. I can talk to my dad about anything. I can bounce anything off him, and I feel like not only is he going to have wisdom to provide, but also just the support of a father. But I also feel like, Michael, that I have several people in my life that I trust their opinion, I trust their ear, I trust their judgment, and there'll be a lot of people that I lean on for advice, and certainly in tough times.
What was your reaction? You told this story at the press conference, but for our radio listeners, what was your reaction when Brian called and said you got it?
Oh, man, I was so excited. I was taking my daughter home from school. I was about to get home, and 4 kids, chaos at our house after school as we're trying to get kids off to dance and soccer practice and all that. And so I'm literally passing my daughter off to my wife because she's taking her to her dance, and she knows, she can tell I'm on the phone, an important call, kind of walking around in the driveway, and just overwhelmed, really excited, and didn't even really have a chance to embrace with my wife or share it overwhelming, other than to say I got it, and we're kind of fist bumping as she's getting in the car to take my daughter to her dance. So it was a really cool moment.